Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to VA Claims Insiders Facebook Live. I am Coach Jim. I'm here with Coach Jen, and we're going to sound off with VA Claims Insider Facebook Live roll call. So once you join in, please post what branch you served in, where you're from. The place.
Coach a shout out. Give your coach a shout out on Facebook Live. Let us know where you're at. Let us know your branch of service, and give your coach a yay.
Absolutely. And any spouses that are on too, you're included too, because you serve right along with us. So feel free to come in and tell us where you're at, where you served, and if you're working with the coach, give your coach a shout out. We love that.
Coach Jim and I are super excited to be hosting the very first self-care Facebook Live, talking about our veterans and their struggles and some options, some considerations for self-care. A lot of times we get caught up in healthcare and mental health issues and forget about other vital aspects of taking care of ourselves. So we've both pretty excited to be doing the very first self-care, mind, body, soul Facebook Live. I'm excited to do it with you, Coach Jim. I know you've got some really good ideas to share. So I'm really excited to be doing this with you today.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome ride. So everybody buckle in, because at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves if we want to take care of others. I see people coming in right now. Welcome. Go Davey. Yeah, keep coming in. Let us know where you're at, where you served at, and what coach you're working with. But yeah, we're gonna have some very interesting topics to cover over mind, body, and soul. And at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves if we want to take care of others. So we're going to let everybody file in and sound off. And at about 10 after, we're going to kick right in. So welcome. I see a couple of Navy vets here. Go ahead.
I don't have it. Maybe my comments aren't popping up. I'm not seeing anything. But where are you at, Coach Jim?
Oh, very good question. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, right here in the Midwest. And I love it. I'm in the middle of everything. I served in Okinawa, Japan, and Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I served 4 years, and I was in logistics. And now I'm a veteran coach, and I love it. I love it every day. Oh, we have Puerto Rico here.
Puerto Rico, welcome.
Welcome home.
We should do a Facebook Live from one of those amazing destinations. We should not be stuck. I'm in just south of Des Moines, Iowa. So both of us are just stuck right here, landlocked. Well, you've got a river. Bob Culver.
Oh, wow. All over.
Got people from everywhere. Thank you for sounding off. Keep letting us know where you're at. Who's your coach? We're so glad that you're here. So the Marine Corps is well represented. So I'm the daughter, wife, and mother of United States Marines. I have another son who is graduating graduating high school the end of May. His ship date for boot camp is June 6th. He'll be going to San Diego. And right now he's going air wing. Avionics maintenance is where he's leaning right now. We'll see. But I'm pretty excited about him going to A school in Pensacola. So I just might be one of those moms that hangs out while her kid is never been there. But I'm pretty excited for him to continue the family business.
Awesome. Yeah, proud Marine mom. And I remember how proud my mother was when I was in the Marine Corps. And she didn't pass up that opportunity to come watch me graduate at MCRD San Diego. One of the best days ever.
Nothing, and I have 5 kids, so it's kind of hard. It's really, I almost have guilt saying that my son's Marine Corps graduation was one of the most powerful days of my life. But, he walked across the parade deck where his grandfather and his stepfather you can put it in the chair. Thank you. Sorry about that. Where they had graduated from the Marine Corps boot camp as well. So it was just on so many levels, the proudest day of my life. So sorry to the other kids, but So yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. So we
Yes, it is.
give her
Hi, Richard. Shout out to Rich Army.
We've got Angela from Virginia. We've got our buddy Rick. Rick has been with us for quite some time, and he's part of the community. This is such a community. VA Claims Insider, all of our forums and boot camp kid. All of our coaching forums, all of our classes, coffee with the coaches, very much a community here. So between the coaches and our veterans.
Absolutely. And if you need help with your claim, you can get started today for free. So we just posted the link. So take advantage of that. And you'll get the opportunity to work with one of the great coaches on the team here. Coach Jen does an awesome job, and all the veteran coaches here. We love what we do, and we love taking care of veterans. And click on the link, get started today. It is part of Mind, Body, and Soul. Actually, filing your claim for VA compensation and disability is a form of self-care, because at the end of the day, during the process, you're going to find out things that are wrong with you that you might not have known or looked at before. If you want to talk to one of our teammates, you can schedule your free 30-minute discovery call today, and the link is right below. So don't waste time. Don't hesitate. I'm going to share a personal experience with you. In 2013, when I started filing for my VA claims, I was going in for migraines, and during that time, I found out that I had obstructive sleep apnea. So did I just focus on migraines? No. I got diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, and I had a CPAP machine, and it probably saved my life. My energy level is way better now. And if I ever have a fire here in the house, the CPAP is going out with me. So all along the way, self-care is a very important topic, because as veterans by nature, we want to take care of others. That's kind of why we signed up to serve. But at the end of the day, I like to use the analogy, when the oxygen mask falls down on the plane, you have to put your mask on before you help others. So we're gonna give you some tips today on how to take care of yourself.
Go ahead and just jump right in and start with your first topic.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to introduce myself to everyone. I'm Coach Jim. I'm a veteran coach here at VA Claims Insiders. I served in the Marine Corps from 1994 to 2000. I was in logistics. I was stationed abroad. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and Okinawa, Japan. And I also went TDY to Norway. Now I'm here doing what I love to do, a veteran coach at VA Claims Insiders. So one of the things that I like to talk to all my veterans about, when we're working during the claims process, is, hey, what do you like to do to reset? What do you like to do for fun? At the end of the day, we have to find things that are going to stimulate us, keep us going. A hard reset. Take our minds off of what's going on. And for me, it's spending time, with family and friends, right? Trying new things, focusing on the things that I can do, not the things that I can't do. So overall, attending sporting events, with family or friends, and not just only doing the things that I like. I also like to include, my family members, maybe trying something that they like for every now and then. And it exposes me to something new. I had a friend that exposed me to golf, right? It was something that I never really considered doing until, he invited me out, and it's something that I really love doing now. So, getting out, resetting, trying a new hobby, right? Certain things that will set your mind free, or keep you interactive and keep you going and focusing on resetting, because sometimes, during the claims process, you have to take some time for yourself. Maybe it's just taking a walk. Some of the things that I do here throughout the day, I know that I sit a lot. So I went and I have a desktop that rises, and so half the day I'll be standing. So to make sure I get up, I have a little bicycle, underneath that I can turn and move my legs. Because at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I am doing well, so I can continue taking care of those that I love and care about. So those are just a couple of the things that I try that works well for me. And while I was out trying those new hobbies like golf and walking in the community, I was able to meet other people. So I met friends that have the same interest in hobbies. So now I have someone else to go out and do those things with. So it helps. I'm going to let Coach Jen jump in. She has a couple things she's going to share.
I think, thank you. And I think that hobbies is hugely important, keeping your focus sometimes off of things that are stressing you out, your mental health, your general health, things that, you can tend to really dwell on, and that can take some enjoyment out of your life. Having something to focus on is really vital. For me, one of the things that I talk about with my veterans is, your general health, your healthcare. So when you're going through this process, when you're going through with a coach and working with a consulting company, you're going through the process yourself. You're owning the process. You are learning. You're understanding, and sometimes it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more emotional rather than, having your VSO, hey, I want to file for this. And the VSO does everything on your behalf, lets you know when you need to be where, gathers up the information. In doing it this way, you have a lot of ownership. You have a lot of voice. But it's more than, and this is one thing that we talk about in our classes. I talk about with my veterans. It's so much more than just going after the claim. The big picture is not necessarily, and you'll find as you're going through the process, you may be going, I really need the rating. I really need the compensation. It's really going to help. And that's all true. The financial peace of mind takes away a level of stress, but you'll also find that you're going to open some doors. And the key to being successful with your VA claims is medical evidence. In order to establish the medical evidence, you need to go to the doctor. So going hand in hand is taking care of your general health, taking care of your health, conditions that may have gone undiagnosed, things that you've been dealing with, suffering from, that, you just go to walk-in care, deal with it. But, if you're having chronic conditions or you have mental health issues that you really don't have time to recognize and deal with. I know I have an issue, I'll deal with it later. I know, my back really hurts, I'll go to the doctor later. When you're going through your VA claim process, you're going to need to see the doctor. And it's a good time to establish primary care, to go to your doctor and unload. These are the things I've been dealing with. I have headaches 2 or 3 times a month. I have neck pain. I can't hear very well. I was on the flight lines for 8 years. I feel like I have damage. I don't sleep well. So I'm irritable. I have some anger issues. These are things that you can establish. It's not just about the evidence, it's about the care. So we're always encouraging our veterans to maintain your relationship with primary care. Primary care's job is to coordinate your general health. So primary care will send you to a GI doc for acid reflux or IBS. They'll maybe send you to a neurologist for vertigo or headaches. But they're going to get all those records and they're going to coordinate all of that and be on top of your general health. So it's really important for you to self-care, to establish this and maintain it as part of this process, especially with mental health. When you're unpacking and identifying these symptoms and impairments in these situations that you struggle with, you need to have a resource. You need to have, a mental health provider that can be available to you when this gets difficult. And it quite often does, not necessarily related to the stressors that could have caused your mental health, but those symptoms and impairments that you're dealing with that are affecting relationships, affecting your focus and your memory. So having a resource to be able to talk about the frustration as you're going through this process is very, very important. So that's my first suggestion for self-care, is getting on top of your general health.
Very, 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 yeah. Very, very good topic that you brought up, and it's a great segue for me as a veteran, right? One, we need to listen to those around us more who care about us and love us, and when they notice something. Another thing is when I was on active duty, and a lot of service members have the same thing. When we would go to medical, our number one goal was, one, not to be seen going down to medical, two, to get out as fast as we can, and to not say anything to get us discharged, right? So it was a total disservice. So as soon as I was able to get rid of that mindset, and it's something that we talk about here as your coaches, we talk about opening up, being uncomfortably vulnerable, and sharing. So I had to reprogram my mindset. So when I would go see my primary care, it wasn't just a 10-minute visit, and it was only dealing with one thing. So as soon as I was able to open up, tell him everything that was going on, realizing, hey, it's okay. You're not on active duty no more. You need to take care of yourself. So at the end, whether you're working on your claim for extra compensation, at the end of the day, you want to be healthy so you can enjoy it with your family and friends. So when I started opening up, letting them know the little things that were going on, I got to the point where I would start making a list of everything that was wrong with me, and talk to them about it, and see what I could do, to make that situation better. Whether it was something that I was looking to file a claim for, it didn't really matter, because I started looking at the total health picture. And another thing, during my process of seeking out VA compensation and disability, I can very well say it probably saved my life, because when I went in, I was going in for migraine headaches, and they diagnosed me with obstructive sleep apnea, right? Because we were having a conversation. I wasn't just getting in and out. My doctor's like, by the way, how do you sleep? I was like, I don't sleep very well. I'm also having acid reflux. I think I'm eating too late at night. And he said, no, I really want to send you for a sleep study. And that was another thing on my side. I had to realize, hey, I'm not a medical official. I was thinking, hey, my acid reflux at night was coming from, me eating late at night. That wasn't the case. When I was diagnosed with chronic obstructive sleep apnea, and the doctor told me what was happening to my body at night, when I would stop breathing, my body would convulse, and acid reflux was coming up that way. So it was a very, very dangerous situation. The good side out of it, hey, I got a CPAP machine, and after using it for 3 days, I'm no longer taking naps. I'm not nodding off. Yeah, hey, I feel like I'm 21 again. I'm not tired. I have high energy level. I'm more aware of my sleep hygiene, right? I take a look. I got veterans every day that depend on me, to wake up early, and I want to give them 200%. So I'm watching. I got a smartwatch, tells me, hey, it's getting close to bedtime. Go to sleep. My machine's downloading data. I'm more mindful of my rest, and that machine has changed my life. I thought I was just getting old. Maybe that was why I was being tired. Well, I don't take naps anymore. I'm not nodding off. I can definitely say if there was a fire here today, I'm taking the CPAP with me on my way out in the safe. But little things like that along the process.
I'm gonna log in over here, and I'm going to sign my husband up for a sleep study. because you're just checking the boxes here and like, okay, he needs one of those. How do I get him one?
It was a miracle, Coach Jen. It really was. I really thought ever since I was 27, right? Even in the Marine Corps, I had an office. Everybody would go to lunch. I would take 2-hour naps, right? I just had it built into my schedule. I just thought I was getting old. When I got that machine, what's a nap? I don't need it. My energy level's super high. I'm a better dad. I'm a better son. I'm a better friend. So when my friends call me up, hey, let's go for a walk, or let's go out and walk 9 holes on the golf course. I'm like, well, yeah, let's do it. And at the same time, too, I'm being more of aware of my sleep hygiene, because my machine tells me, you had 8 hours last night, you had 9, and you get the data. So little things like that, that we get along the process really helps. And only regret I have is if I didn't get the sleep study, sooner. So at the end of the day, like I said, that small piece to me was worth it. And it could have saved my life, because the stuff that was happening to me, at night while I was sleeping, I had no idea. So that was a very good point. I just wanted to come in and share that part. And at the same time, as veterans, sometimes there's people around us that really, really love us, that notice things, that tell us things, go see this, go see that. They're really trying to get through to us, because they see things in a different perspective, than us. And sometimes it's so hard, as a veteran to, take off the pack, right? Admitting to my primary care that I get headaches, that's something when I was on active duty, I probably wouldn't have shared. But letting them know, hey, letting them know the frequency, the severity, how I was suffering in silence, because, when I was hurting, I didn't want no one to see me. So I would go off, into other locations.
I like how you mentioned other people. And I just saw Steve Larson's comment. He's busy purging toxic persons. And I think that it's often so hard. It is often so hard to have lifelong relationships with people, and then to at some point realize that this is toxic. This is contributing to me also spreading toxicity. It's hard to be around someone who is negative, who is angry, who's unhappy, and to be healthy yourself. So, you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook, you see all those posts about, your tribe, being around positive people changes your outlook, changes your level of positivity. And it truly is that way. When you are around people who are supportive and encouraging and accepting, and for lack of a better word, mature, your entire perspective and your vibe changes, and you feel a calmness, you feel a peace, because that toxicity makes you, this is what my term when I'm around toxic people is they're spiky. They're not the kind of people that, like a sandburr. They're pokey. They make you uncomfortable. But they also make what you're putting out is uncomfortable. And a lot of times people who are managing mental health conditions have difficulty with relationships, and that difficulty with their relationships is often due to their level of toxicity. What do you put out? I can be a very angry person. I can just be, mad. And when I don't want people around me, then I get spiky. Or, I need my space. This is how I process my feelings, is by getting spiky. But when I'm around people that are not like that, I can just absorb that. And I feel a peace. So with Steve, purging those toxic persons, that is very important to your level of peace. people that are going to be supportive and not contradictory and not critical, but encouraging and supportive of your endeavors and what you're trying to do, the process that you're going through, especially. And I mean, mental health is such a big part of this process that you need to have somebody who is supporting you as you're unpacking, when you're identifying symptoms, you're identifying impairments, situations that you want to change the way you are in those situations. Having people that are supportive is vital. Another thing that I think is huge is your pets, your animals. Here in Iowa, we have an organization called the Puppy Jake Foundation. And Puppy Jake spends thousands and thousands of dollars on each dog to train to be a companion for our veterans, and not necessarily always for emotional. I remember a story for a veteran who is a Puppy Jake recipient, and he was diabetic, and the dog was being very needy, needing lots of attention and just kind of being naughty. So the veteran let the dog outside, thought he wanted to go out. Dog came back in, was still being like that. He was very irritated by the dog. The dog was pawing at him and just, needing more attention than he wanted. Well, this veteran was having blood sugar issues and ended up going into, he noticed that he was starting to go into it. So he was able to call for help. But if that dog was not there, he wouldn't have known that, oh my gosh, he finally got to the point where this is what he's telling me. So this is not necessarily, an emotional support, which he absolutely was as well. But he was necessary to his general health and a situation that he could have potentially died from. So I think that, the emotional support from animals is unspeakable. I mean, just having them there, their unconditional love, the feeling of warmth, they're like a heart, a weighted blanket with a heartbeat. They're there, they provide comfort, they provide safety. And I think that the relationships are really, really vital to help with that sense of peace, with self-care. So that's just kind of another aspect. And one thing that I talk about with my veterans when we're going through, again, I'm going to go back to mental health, but this could be any exam that you're having that's difficult. You're stressing about going in to demonstrate the severity of your back condition. You're stressing about going in to talk about your headaches. It's very stressful to go to a C&P exam. You're being evaluated for your rating. Your rating is very important to you. So I always recommend to my veterans that you have a plan for reset, refresh, and reward yourself. It's going to be a very emotionally charged event going through your C&P. It's going to be exhausting. In some conditions, you may end up feeling pain throughout during the exam. So after your exam, I always recommend that you reset yourself. Get outside, let the sun do what it does. Get the sun on your face, get that brightness, get that natural vitamin D. And I suggest to a lot of my veterans to take a sip of very cold water or a lemonade. Go to Sonic and get a cherry limeade. Refresh your senses. That introduction of that refreshment to your taste buds truly refreshes your entire system. And it's a very, very good reset button. So, we've got some options for big picture. The big picture, taking care of your general health, taking care of your sleep, making sure that you're getting healthy, productive sleep, making sure that you are surrounded by people that are going to support and encourage you, and always have an option to reset yourself when you feel like you're in a dark place, when you are emotionally struggling. Have a reset option. The sun, something fresh and refreshing, something that's going to make you laugh and smile. Bring yourself back. Bring yourself back from that struggle. You made it through. You're on the other side. You've been through worse. So I always recommend that reset button, even if it's not a mental health exam, because all of it's really, really stressful. And know that your coaches are here. We always ask after you've had your exam, reach out, let me know how it goes or how it went. Let me know if you feel like it wasn't thorough. Let me know, if you feel like you are exceptionally stressed, we're here. We'll talk right through it. So always know that your coach is a resource to you, anytime.
Absolutely. That's a very good point because you touched on that Coach Jen, very well. And it reminds me, it's a relationship that we build with our veterans here. We care about you very much. I have that conversation with my veterans before they go in for their compensation and pension exams. You need a reset, once you get done, once you get done with that exam, I usually have a conversation with them. Hey, what's your favorite food, your favorite restaurant? I want you to do something that you really enjoy doing. So you can totally reset. I don't want you going back to work, after that, because it's too much. It's a lot of things come up, and a lot of them, I talk to my veterans after they did that reset and they want to debrief me on how their exam went. And they were like, hey, thanks for telling me not to go back to work. I'm really glad I didn't. Going out, doing some self-care, that favorite restaurant or something that you really enjoy doing, it does help reset your mind. And another thing that you mentioned too that kind of touched bases with me, Coach Jen, is pets. The animals that we have in our life. And when talking to my veterans, I found out, some of my veterans, they have horses, they have cats, they have snakes, they have lizards, whatever it takes, to put you into your spot. I mean, it's awesome. There's another veteran coach, and he was like, I have 235 horses. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And he was like, yeah, it's a Harley Davidson. So whatever it's going to do to help you reset. And you brought up another good point too. It's about your circle. Having people who support you, and us as coaches here at VA Claims Insiders, we're part of that circle. We're there to support you. We're here for you. We want you to have your best life. We want you to get the benefits that you earned and deserve. And having that circle is very important. And it brings up another topic that I want to, touch into, because sometimes we're at our best as veterans. Maybe we go in and we take in that rescue, right? We do it. We had no pets. We go in, we take in that rescue. Well, now we just pretty much put the uniform back on because we have accountability and responsibility. I'm going to make sure that my dog, first thing you're going to do is bring it in, give it a loving home, give it a name. You're going to make sure that, has water every day, goes for walks. That's getting you out. The little things like that help, and it's not so lonely. And, and I know, like, coming in from a stressful day, my mom has an emotional support animal. Well, guess what? He's mine too, because it really helps me reset, and it helps me recharge. So, things that keep our mind going and focusing on goals. Another thing, that we can do is personal development, right? A couple things that I was able to do late in life, and it was part of me pursuing my VA disability and compensation along the journey. Someone mentioned vocational rehab to me, and I was like, oh, wow, I always wanted to finish up my college degree. And you know what? I took action. So then, now I'm involved. My brain is working. I got responsibility. I got deadlines due. I'm taking college courses. I'm able to fulfill a goal that I've been working on so long in my life, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, at first I was a little nervous about, hey, will there be challenges? But hey, it was good for me. It gets us back into the fight. And whether it's pursuing a college degree or if it's just taking a class about a hobby that you might want to do, right? You might want to take up pottery or painting. There's all kind of resources that are available in your community through the VA that you can do, and it keeps you fresh, right? It keeps my mind going. When my mind's working, I'm in my happy place, and I'm moving forward, to accomplishing goals. And it's never too late to set a goal. And bringing up goals too, like if you decide, hey, I'm going to become more active, or if I'm going to live a more productive lifestyle, I want to move more. You don't just go out and start running 5 miles. You ease yourself into it, right? I'm very transactional. So what I do is I write things down, things that I want to accomplish. And for me, what works best for me is I use SMART goals. I'm specific about what I want to do. I make sure there's a way that it's measurable, and I make sure it's attainable, and I make sure it's realistic, and I give myself a timeline. This is the thing, and I constantly adjust it and look at it, along the way, and it keeps me going. And it's fun. And guess what? Along the way, I meet other people who have that positive mindset, self-improvement, doing things, trying new things. I had an uncle. He was a veteran, Vietnam era veteran. I learned a lot from him, a whole lot. And he shared with me one day, he said, hey, focus on the things that you can do, not the things that you can't do. And with him having MS and that coming from him, I still hear that voice in my head today. So I never focus on the things that I can't do. I focus on the things that I can do, and I find joy in, and I know maybe one day, I might not be able to swing a golf club all day, right? I'm looking at fishing. I think fishing is a good way for me to relax my mind, get out. I love the fresh air. I love trees and nature. And it gives you something to do, something to set a goal for. So, it's never too late to reinvent yourself, right? So, just surround yourself with positive people, and take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, for you to continue to keep taking care of those that you love, make sure that you're taken care of first.
I have just a couple other options I wanted to throw out. And then talk a little bit about what it is that we do. So we've got our self-care options, but I kind of want to get to, what is it that for people that don't have a coach, that are here for, let's hear a little bit about what VA Claims Insider does. I'll get back to that. But what I want to throw out there is physical fitness. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, no, not me. But being physically active, and we've all heard this. We've all heard the lectures about, being physically fit gives you endorphins. It helps you with your serotonin levels and makes you feel better, and it makes your body want more. So there are, a lot of people, back conditions, knee conditions. There are limitations to what you can do. Walking long distances, lifting, doing squats, that kind of stuff. There are organizations all over the country that work with veterans on their physical fitness, work on strength training, and everything allows modification. So if you have knee issues, if you have back issues, if you have, extension issues with shoulders, they're going to work with you so that you can still work on your physical fitness while you're working through your general fitness, while you're working through changing your crowd. And that's a really good way to change your crowd, to get in with people who have a different mindset, who have a goal-oriented and supportive mindset. It's a really good way to change your tribe, or to improve and have more of those people that are on your side. And again, a lot of people have physical limitations. A lot of people are starting from, a not really healthy spot, but there are so many organizations that are committed to veterans and helping them with their physical fitness, starting where they're at, with patience and support and encouragement. So I highly recommend physical fitness to help you, again, with your general health, the big picture. Jerry, our CB in the room, goes fishing, and he power lifts. I know my husband was a power lifter. That was his sanity. That was our sanity. Watching that guy in his 700-pound deadlifts was impressive, and that took a lot of stress off of me. Watching him do that, I was tired. He had a shoulder injury and is not able to lift the way he was, but still doing, keeping active, resistance training, and not lifting as heavy as he used to. It's hard for him because he's such an overdoer. But he needs to do it to keep him healthy. But we want to throw out options, and we want to talk about what it is that can help with processing where you're at. A lot of our veterans have experiences that nobody else has, that nobody else can understand, and you're processing those, and you're still having nightmares, and you've got the whole entire aspect of your life is still affected by these experiences and the residual effects of these experiences, and having options to help with keeping yourself grounded and keeping positive and keeping peace is really important. So we want to continue doing these mind, body, and soul classes because one of our options, something's going to be, I'm going to try that. That sounds like something that would work for me. That sounds like I know somebody like that, or I know an organization that does this. And I'm going to reach out. So we just want to inspire somebody who needs the resources to recognize something that might be an option for them, to reach out and say, hey, let's have a talk about self-care. Let me tell you more about myself. Tell me what you think. It's so much easier to be on the outside looking in, to be able to make a recommendation sometimes, than looking at yourself and saying, what's going to work for me? So Ricky is saying swimming. Swimming is an anaerobic exercise, and it burns so many calories and it builds muscle, and it is truly, you're going to have a little bit of aching afterwards when you first start. But I remember when I first started swimming, but it's worth it because it can change your body. It can change your level of fitness and strength and your mental health. But that being said, we've kind of taken up most of the hour with our self-care options. And please know that we're always a resource for you if you just need somebody to talk to and throw out some conditions. But I'd like to jump into VA Claims Insider and veteran coaches and what our role is for the veterans that we work with. For those of you that are in the room that don't already have a coach or haven't signed up to even have an initial call. So we are a coaching and consulting company. We are not accredited agents. We aren't attorneys. So we're not filing or preparing documentation for you. What we're doing is providing you. So we're like a personal trainer for VA claims. Okay. So you're coming to us with, these are my conditions. These are the claims I've been previously denied for, or I don't know where to start. What do I do? So we're going to talk to you, and we've got a lot of questions that we're going to ask the first few times that we chat. In fact, before we even chat, we're going to ask you to give us some qualifying information. Show us your DD-214. Show us where you're already at. Screenshot of your e-benefits. If you have previous denials, helping out with your decision narratives will be really helpful too, so we can see what you were denied for and what the VA's rationale was for why they denied you. Not service connected. We can help you with deciphering what not service connected means. Or if you have any of your military records, throw them at your coach. Your current health records, share with us a current H&P from your primary care. If you were seen at urgent care, you can download records so easily now that having access to your medical evidence is almost effortless. We have our administrative assistants that will get on the phone and help you walk through downloading and sharing records if you need that. So please don't be intimidated by us asking for records. We can help you with that. But once we have the information, we're going to do a strategy call. We're going to talk to you about your time in service, potential presumptive conditions, any certain deployments that you were on in certain locations, Gulf War vets, Vietnam vets, Afghanistan, Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq, burn pit presumptives. And we're going to talk to you about the path of least resistance. So we're going to talk to you about the conditions that you have or injuries that you may have had while you were in service, incidents, exposures, illnesses. And we're going to talk about how best for us to develop for service connection. A lot of times we have some evidence over here, we have no evidence over there. How do we establish that? We can help you with that. And we have a network of providers that we can get you in contact with to help with establishing medical evidence in support of service connection. We are going to, once we determine what the claim is going to be that you're going to submit, we'll walk through submitting that with you, walk through the application with you, help you to understand the application, because even though it's an online application, it's definitely a struggle to know exactly where do I click, how do I respond to this? Where do I, the first few times that you file a claim online, it's a little precarious, but we'll walk through that with you. Once we've got a claim pending, you've got your claim submitted and you're pending your CMP resources. One-on-one prep sessions with your coach. We're going to talk about specifically preparing you to be successful for that CMP, which is the most important day in the process. The CMP exam is the most important day in the process. So our job is to provide you guidance, resources, coaching, education, strategy. So oftentimes people are coming with, I want to get this service connected. I want to get this service connected. I want to get this service connected. And we can provide you some dream crushers and tell you, there's not really any value in that condition. If you're service connected for that condition, it may be a non-compensable rating, or it may be a really big battle that you don't really need to fight because you have other conditions that hold more compensable value and are going to be easier to win. So that's where our strategy calls come in. We're going to talk to you about what's the path of least resistance to the highest value claims. Okay. We're going to talk about lifestyle impact. These are the conditions that you're already service connected for, and how do they affect your life? Physical limitation, chronic pain, sleep disruption. We're going to talk about that big picture and potentially a lifestyle impact claim, which is often the highest potential standalone rating for our veterans, with the average of 50 to 70% just in that one rating. So just kind of in a nutshell, and so for those of you that are not veteran clients of ours yet, we are a for-profit company. We do charge for our services, but not until you win. Our payment structure is very cut and dry. You can talk to your coach. If you sign up, you can talk to our customer service, and they can help you with understanding the payments. Very cut and dry. There are no hidden fees. You have one entire year to pay anything that you would be obligated to us back. Very cut and dry. And reasonable, very reasonable. We're not like an attorney. Attorneys will often encourage you to get yourself wrapped up into an appeal, which is going to rack up that back pay. That back pay is going to pay off that attorney because they're going to take a percentage. So we are going to exhaust your options and try and stay out of an appeal option, and get your claims resolved quicker with a higher level review or a supplemental claim versus a BVA appeal. So I know I'm kind of talking a different language to a lot of veterans, but please sign up for your first call, talk to a coach, see how we can help you. We may not be a fit, but we have a really good success rating. Coach Jim is a very good coach. I'm a very good coach. We have several very, very good coaches with very good track record, great perspectives. And this is what we do. This is, professionally. I've worked with veterans who have been seeking healthcare benefits, healthcare support. I wanted to give actually a real quick shout out to Abraham Estelle, homebound veteran. This is locally one of the things that is my passion, and I do is making sure that our homebound veterans have company, have somebody, you know, when you're homebound, that's part of the struggle, is that, you know, maybe you're not seeing the whites of anybody's eyes for a week, 3 days, and, you know, just making sure that there's somebody interacting, making sure you're taking your meds, making sure that you're getting your groceries, you know, helping out with laundry. This is something that I've done for many years. And I have a very, very big group of us that we are advocating for making sure that the VA is paying for the homemaker services and any in-home care that's necessary. So, Abraham, know that at least here in Iowa, I'm fighting for you and veterans in your situation. And I'm going to go ahead and stop with the yammer, and I'm going to throw it back to Jim. We've got about 10 minutes left in our session, so I just kind of wanted to chat about what we do. If you want to talk about how you do it too.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. The first thing is getting started, okay? And talk to me or one of the other coaches here, the team members. So right now, if you haven't seen it across your screen, you know, you can schedule a free 30-minute strat call with me or one of the coaches here at VA Claims Insiders. Yeah, you know, and
tell me.
it's a free 30-minute discovery call. Okay, we're going to help you out, and at 30 minutes, I guarantee you're going to walk away with abundance of information, because there are things that we might have set in our mind that we think is a winning strategy. However, when we get on the phone with the coaches here, VA Claims Insiders, who do this every day, and we do it very well, and you know, we can let you know the ways that work, right? There might be something that you're trying to do that you've been doing forever, and you're stuck on it. You have nothing to lose. Like I said, it's a free 30-minute discovery call. If anything, we can get you in the right direction, get you signed up, right? Because I guarantee you, after you talk to us and you get a new perspective on what you were doing and the way that we do it, you're going to be very interested. And that's what we do. We do VA claims, and we do them very well here. We help veterans, one, form a solid strategy, right? Two, we're going to educate you on your disabilities. And then three, we can help you and point you in a direction and let you know about, you know, obtaining medical evidence, and it goes a long way. So doing it on your own, you know, there's so many things that you can do wrong. I'm a perfect example of that. In 2013, VA Claims Insiders wasn't around, right? I was basically trying to do brain surgery on myself. Everything that I could have did wrong, I did wrong. I was just stubborn. I was a Marine. I never gave up. Lost a lot of money. It took me forever to get a rating. So when the opportunity came to work here at VA Claims Insiders and help other veterans not feel like you're on a raft floating in the middle of the ocean, I was all in. So at the end of the day, too, we want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? Make sure you're taking all your meds. Make sure that you have a 30 to 90 day supply in some cases, because we have weather, you know, depending on where you live at, there are things that could happen. So make sure, you know, you also have stuff in your house too. I know me and Jen, we're in the Midwest, and we got some, you know, nasty storms coming through. So first thing I did was, hey, I got gas for the generator. Yeah, you know, lights, batteries, food, medication, CPAP machine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up for any questions that anybody has. Just go ahead and post them, and we'll answer them. However, at the top of the hour, we do have a hard close, because we have to let you guys get back to what you're doing, and we have to get back to helping veterans.
Janaea's posted, I keep hearing of disabled vets from OIF, OEF filing with a percentage of 50 to 70%. And once they attempt to file for something new, their percentage drops all around. Are you guys seeing that? It is preventing me from pursuing a higher rate. Janaea, that's a really, really good question. And it does happen sometimes. Often, if you are filing for an increase to one of your conditions or adding a new condition, it could be timed with a routine future exam for another condition that you're already service connected for. And if it doesn't change your overall rating, they can drop the rating of one of your already service connected conditions without proposing to reduce. If it will potentially reduce your overall rating, then they do have to do a proposal and give you the opportunity to dispute it. Now, if you're working with us and this is something that happens, we are going to work with you to maintain it or get it back. And in those instances, you just need to typically go to your doctor, have your doctor submit a document that says, Janae's condition has not gotten better. It's maintained or it's gotten worse, in fact. So at that point, you can get your condition rated back where it needs to be and then file for an increase to have it rated accurately. And it happens. You can go, I've had a veteran who went in for his back and his radiculopathy CMP exam, came back with his GERD reduced. It didn't drop him out of the 90% range, but he went from 30 to 10% and it wasn't even evaluated. So that was a challenge that we took on, got him his rating back, and are still carrying on towards 100%. So it does happen, but we're prepared for it. It's not anything that we're afraid of or intimidated by. So just trust the process, trust your coach. If you deserve that rating, go after it. We'll help you.
Absolutely. That was a very good question. One thing that you get here at VA Claims Insiders, you get your coach. We deal with that all the time. We let you know how to stay on the road and not go off, right? There's so many things that you can do that can happen that can cause a reduction, right? And not knowing and not having a coach to guide you through that process, you can find yourself getting a reduction. I have
you're going to be so PO'd when you get that letter, and you can come to your coach. Your coach can talk you off the ledge, explain to you the process. Don't worry about it. We'll get it back. And there's a process for that. Ingrid, very good question. So if we work with you on a claim that is not successful, we are not going to charge you. We only charge if you are successful. And if you are denied, we're going to work with you on going back after it. Do we need to do a higher level review? Do we need to send it back and have the evidence of record re-examined? We have a lot of different options to still be persistent towards success. But no, if you're working with us and you are not successful on a claim attempt, we're not going to charge you. You owe us nothing, and we'll work with you as long as it takes until you're successful. Or if we're developing for a very long time and you're not ready to file a claim, not feeling confident, then we can work with you on developing as long as you need. We're a resource for you, and we're in it until you win it. So no worries about that. You owe us nothing until you win. And our fees are very reasonable, and not even competitive. They're kind of less than competitive. So have no worries, but definitely have a consult, have a 30-minute consult. Unfortunately, we have just ran out of our hour. I hope that, we gave you some good information. I hope we gave you some good perspectives. I hope that if you were on the fence about joining and learning more about VA Claims Insider and what working with a veteran coach can do for you, that we've helped you to decide that, the benefit is there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all the good tips, Coach Jim. I really enjoyed co-hosting with you today.
Me as well. And then thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a pleasure to kick this off, Mind, Body, and Soul, the first one here with Coach Jen. And thank you all for tuning in today. And we look forward to seeing you at many more.
Thank you all for your service.